Hey, everybody, welcome back to this week's episode of Supernatural Sunday. I am your hostess with the ghostess, Nikki Luciano. I'm joined here today by Mason and Destiny. And I think before we get into it, I'd like to ask everybody how they're doing. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It's free, it ain't going to cost you a penny. And it keeps you in touch with what we're doing each and every week. Anybody got any news they'd like to share today? Anything they want to talk about? No? I'd like to send a shout out to Missy, who for 2 hours today was broke down in Indiana at my granddaughter Delilah's beauty pageant. It seems they must have picked up a nail in a parking lot and their tire went flat and they just got the vehicle. It's a used vehicle, but very nice one. They only had a single-ended tire iron in the vehicle, and turns out that the tire that went flat with 3 young children under the age of 6 in the vehicle had 2 different pattern lug nuts. So Tanner, being the rescue hero that he is, had to walk around and search for somebody that could help him out. And I want to send God's blessings out to the man that accepted Tanner greeting him and didn't think he was a serial killer and helped him out. They also had a little problem with the vehicle falling off the jack. So it was all kinds of a hairy morning, and that's why I am actually a little over an hour late. That and technical difficulties, my printer decided to take a crap on me. So I thought I was going to have to read from my phone what I have to read today, but fortunately I have 8 wonderful children that always come through in a fix. So without any further ado, today we're going to be talking first. We're going to be talking about scary movies. The ones that we recommend, the ones that we don't recommend, our favorite parts, our least favorite parts, and I don't know, I'm just in a scary movie kind of mood. I haven't found any that really scare the bejesus out of me yet. I'm still looking for that one movie. I want one movie that makes me, I don't know, piss my pants because I'm so scared. I'm not into gore. I don't like bloody shit. That I want something that's going to have me fearing for my soul. That to me is a scary movie. My favorite scary movie to date is The Rite. That was an absolutely awesome movie because we got to hear actual demon voices during exorcisms. And I don't know. I just like the way it was all set up. And what is the name of that actor, that little old guy? Is that Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah.
Amazing in this movie. I mean, this guy gave me chills where God never intended chills to go. I recommend it. I highly recommend it. And who is the young priest in training? What actor was that? He plays Michael. He's actually the guy that, the priest that this actor is portraying actually is an exorcism priest. And to this day. And I would love to get in contact with this priest and just sit down and have a good conversation, have him come here to my home and meet my family and check out my house and see what he can do.
He plays the guy who plays
Michael.
He's the guy who plays Captain Hook in Once Upon a Time.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn good actor. I mean, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. I mean, he had me sold. And that's rare for me because I go to like when the movie Halloween came out. What's his name? Jason. Isn't that the one? Michael Myers, yeah. Michael Myers. That was the lamest shit I've ever watched in my life. all you got is a bunch of teeny bopper girls running around in their tank tops with their nipples showing and in their underpanties. And that's just not my thing, you know. I want to see somebody's soul at stake. You know what I mean? Murder, you turn on the news, you can see that shit. What
Yeah.
about you, Mason?
I like the Halloween movies just because they're really action packed. You never know what's gonna happen, and I mean, he always lives.
I know.
What was the last one we saw?
Halloween. I don't know.
It was the most recent one, right?
The Halloween movie, or just a recent
Oh no,
scary
it
movie.
was the Scream movie.
Oh, the Scream movie was pretty good.
So Scream,
See that stuff, it makes me laugh.
Scream, Halloween, and Saw. I like those ones.
Yeah, you guys are more into the gore and the adrenaline rush. I'm more into the soul determination, you know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, going off of that, I like the Insidious movies and the Conjuring movies.
no, which
Well-
one was the one that revolved around astral traveling? Wasn't that
Insidious.
Insidious?
Anything Ed and Lorraine Warren is amazing.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, the Black Bride, the whole concept of the Black Bride was pretty cool. A little known fact here, Mason has had real life experiences with a entity in this house that looks like a nun, and it's pretty funny because
Way before the movies came out.
yeah, way before the movie came out. Which movie was that with the nun in it?
Conjuring?
Yeah, I think it was.
I believe
Yeah,
it was The
Conjuring.
Conjuring. But way before that movie came out, he was having real life experiences with this nun entity that was anything but, shall we say, holy. She wasn't a good nun. She was a very bad, evil nun. And she, to this day, opens Mason's closet almost every night and lets him know that she's there. But when that movie came out and he saw the nun was in there, I thought he was going to loaf his pants. It was freaking hysterical because he's like, oh my God, they made a movie about the same nun that I'm dealing with.
And they made a whole movie about her.
Oh, did they?
The Nun?
Oh, okay. Yeah. The nun. Yeah, I seen that one. It was all right. I mean, it just still kind of lame.
Nothing about that movie was lame.
Well, different strokes for different folks, I guess. What about you, Desi? Do you have any favorite scary movies or horror movies?
Not that I can think of. I just like the Scream, Saw, Halloween type of movies. I mean, I like any scary movie really, but
Well,
not a favorite.
What now?
There's not a favorite for me.
Well, back in the 80s, my husband and I found the time to go to a movie one night, and we wanted to see a movie back then called The Unholy. And so we paid our money, we took our seats, we were the only ones in the movie theater. And my husband is a chicken when it comes to scary movies, anything with demons or possession or anything like that. And he's not really into it. It's just not his cup of joe. So we take our seats, and I've got, we paid, I think it was like $8 per head to get in. And then I got my $40 worth of snacks, and I'm sitting there waiting for the movie to begin. And my husband Wayne is like, I hope we're not the only ones in this damn theater tonight. Well, it just so happens another couple was walking in at the time. And we were sitting in the middle row on the far right side of the screen. The other couple was sitting in the next aisle over, and the very center of the theater, and 2 rows down. So they were in eyesight, we could see them, they could see us, and we could hear everything that they were talking about. We're watching the movie, and when the demon jumps up out of the aisle of the church. My strong, brave, good-hearted American husband and the other guy screamed bloody murder. It was like, I know they heard it in the other theaters there. And the other woman and I just kind of sat there laughing at them because we couldn't believe that at that given point that they screamed so loud. They were just hysterical. My husband just sat there trembling. And I laughed, but that's my sense of humor, I guess. I'm a bit macabre, I guess. My least favorite movies, like I said, are anything with Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. I don't know, the Saw movies. They just
The Freddy Krueger ones are stupid. Nightmare on Elm Street,
yeah,
horrible.
yeah.
We laughed the whole time. Children of the Corn, those are stupid.
The one Freddy Krueger one that got to me a little bit, just a little bit, was the scene with the waterbed, and that's only because at the time I had a waterbed, so it kind of made me like on edge a little bit, I guess you could say. But that's because when you watch a movie like that, your imagination tends to run a little wild. Other than that, no. Scream is comical.
Yeah, I still like them though.
There were certain parts, where we also have a sick sense of humor. We were the only ones laughing while she's being attacked by a murderer. No, I don't know. Something about it I just really like.
What was that movie? It's probably before you guys' time. I don't know if you guys ever seen it. The caller would call. There's this teenage girl. She's babysitting,
One Missed Call.
and he says, "Have you checked on the children?"
Wait, maybe. I don't know.
Look that up real quick. That one was kind of creepy, but it wasn't scary.
I remember watching it. I was very young watching the movie One Missed Call. That one still sticks with me. And then, I don't know if it was actually a scary movie. It was scary to me at the time. Johnny Depp's movie, what's it called? Secret Window?
I don't know if I've seen it.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I did see it, but it doesn't really stand out in my brain. I don't really recall it. What was that one about?
I don't remember. I just remember crying.
Crying? Then why would I want to see it? I don't want a movie that's going to make me cry.
I was scared. I was 5.
Oh, okay. Any good ones coming out?
Black Phone
Black Phone. Yeah, I wanted to see that. I saw the previews
comes out
for
like the
it.
28th or the 24th.
There's another one too. Evil. Oh wait, is that a series?
Never heard of it.
It's called Evil, and they said it's coming out like June 14th or 19th. I don't remember.
I think it's a TV series, I think. Yeah, I know it. I've seen the movie. Missy brought up one the other day. It's called like The Devil's Something.
What was the one you were just talking about outside? Twin?
Yeah, that's on Amazon.
Oh, that's on Amazon? Okay.
Yep.
I'll have to watch that and give that my review.
Mm-hmm.
What about you? You see any that's coming out that we can see?
Not that I could think of.
What is going on with Hollywood? Why aren't they making any more movies to keep us pacified, I guess you could say, the way they like us?
There's a new movie that came out. It's called Firestarter. It's about a little girl who...
That's not new. I've seen it. Maybe it's a remake.
It's a remake, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because didn't Drew Barrymore play the little girl?
And she was wickedly cool in it.
Yeah. Well, they made a remake of it.
Do you remember, what's Rose Red?
No, never seen it.
I mean, it had the right concept. It's just that girl just doesn't have a scary bone in her body. She doesn't play a good possessed kid. I like the concept of the movie. So I don't know if anybody's else that's listening has seen Rose Red, but I recommend it. It's worth your time.
What was that one movie we watched to see recently? Antlers.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That one I thought it was going to be way better. Just turns out they just turned into these little human-eating monsters.
Yeah, his dad got like sick.
Sick in the mine.
Locked himself in the room in his house, and he turned into like a people-eating monster that his kid would have to just throw food at him, and he'd just be.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It was so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one that Dante went and saw with his buddy and two girls? And I mean, my older sons, they're the ones that scream at the opening credits. Something about a moose came running through the field or some shit, and Dante just freaked out and screamed. Fire. Yeah, there was this moose on fire, and he screamed really loud. Woman?
No, it was a movie with Nicolas Cage.
Well, I thought he went and saw The Woman.
No.
Is that another one? Why is it sticking out in my head?
There's The Woman in the Window.
Mm.
I mean, there is a movie called The Woman, but I don't think we ever saw it.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe it was one that I wanted to see. Anyway, let's get into folklore. My kids being 23 here and 21, they didn't really grow up with any folklore. I mean, I told them things like Bloody Mary, and I told them about Johnny, I want my liver back. And what other ones did I tell you kids about? What? I cannot hear you.
The log one.
Oh, no. That's not appropriate. I'm inappropriate enough without doing that one. But the wonderful thing about folklore is that everybody has their own version. Now, for instance, Johnny, I want my liver back. I'm sure as teenagers and little kids, we all heard one version. I actually looked it up on American Folklore, and it's actually called Where's My Liver? And it's an Ontario ghost story retold by S.E. Schlosser. Okay, so it starts off, go straight to the store and don't fool around, his mother said sternly as she handed over the money. Your father's boss is coming to dinner tonight, and we're having his favorite meal of liver and onions. It's important that we make a good impression, so get the best liver they've got. I will, Ma, Tommy sulked. Okay, right away, you know, it's not Johnny, it's Tommy. His mother had really been after him since he brought home a failing report card. Tommy grabbed his bicycle from the garage and rode down the street. He saw his friend Chad. Come on, Tommy, Chad called. The gang's playing baseball over at the park, and we need a pitcher. Immediately, all thoughts of his errand fled from Tommy's mind. The boys headed toward the park. Tommy pitched a no-hitter to win the game for his team. By the time it was over, it was dark. Then Tommy remembered his errand, the liver. I've got to get to the store, but all the local grocery stores were closed. My mom's going to kill me, he gasped. First the bad report card, and now this. He would be grounded for life. As he rode past the cemetery, he got an idea, but it was an awful idea. But it would save him from an even more awful fate that had awaited him if he came home without the liver. His great uncle had died a few days ago and had been buried at the cemetery. What harm would it do to remove it? His uncle certainly didn't need it anymore. Tommy hurried home as silently as he could, and he got his father's shovel. He returned to the cemetery and began digging up his great uncle's grave. That night, his mother cooked up the liver and the onions, and the boss raved about the meal he had and the good time that he had. And he didn't leave until quite late. Tommy went to bed that night relieved that he had gotten away with it. He fell asleep almost as soon as his head hit the pillow, but woke with a start soon after, sure that he had heard a voice. "Where's my liver?" A ghostly voice rose up from the staircase, deep and guttural. Tommy gasped in fear and flung himself under the covers as a thud of heavy footsteps reached the top of the steps. Thump, thump, thump. The footsteps drew nearer until they reached Tommy's door. "Who's got my liver?" the horrible voice asked again. Go away, Tommy whispered repeatedly. His whole body trembled in terror as once more the voice asked, "Where's my liver? Who's got my liver?" Sheer terror made him suddenly bold. Tommy threw back the covers and found the shriveled white face of his great uncle right above him. "We ate your liver," he shouted. "I know you did, Tommy," the rotting corpse of his great uncle said softly, stretching out his bony hands toward the boy's shaking body. Tommy screamed. The next morning, Tommy's parents discovered their son lying dead on top of his bed. His liver had been ripped right out of his body, but the autopsy proved that the boy had already died of fright before his liver was removed. Great stories for kids.
Don't they take everything out before you get buried?
Yeah,
It's
that's why
Yeah.
it's a folklore,
Yeah.
because there's really nothing. It would only scare little children.
maybe.
Okay.
And who knows when the story was? Way back
Um,
when they weren't embalming people.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't start doing that until much later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the second story we have from Dartmouth Folklore Archives, The Man in the Back Seat. The general information about it is verbal folklore, children's folklore horror stories collected in Dartmouth College, United States. The information data says Emma Hobday was born in Arlington, Virginia, and is 19 years old. Before attending Dartmouth, she went to Williamsburg Middle School and Yorktown High School. In her middle school, she took drama. All right, let's get on with the story. All right. During Emma's 8th grade drama class on Halloween, her teacher decided to suspend class for the day and have everyone sit in a circle and tell ghost stories in honor of Halloween. This story stuck with her the most. Horror stories like this one are told between friends at any time. Normally, they are told during the night to add to the ambiance and the fear factor of the story. So one day after work, she works the late shift. A woman was driving home, and it's all dark. She's driving on barren country road. It's misty. She drives through the forest and she notices a car behind her, following her about 50 feet back. She says, "Well, that's unusual. I usually don't get other people on this road," but she keeps driving. Then out of nowhere, the car honks its horn and she's confused. I mean, she's driving straight on the road, nobody around her. She's not using her front beams or anything, so she just writes it off. Oh, this guy, whatever, he hit the horn by accident, maybe. So she drives on for a minute and the car honks again, this time twice. She looks in the rearview mirror and it's just a guy in a car. He's shouting something at her, but she can't tell what he's saying. He's just being an aggressive driver. So she keeps driving, gets close to her turnoff, and she's looking forward to not being near that car anymore. And he honks again. This time it's 3 beeps. Beep, beep, beep. She's lost. She's lost faith in humanity. She's sick of him, so she waves out her window to follow her as she takes the turn off and pulls into a gas station. She gets out of the car. She goes around to the other driver. He rolled down his window and she shouts, "Why have you been honking at me? I'm driving fine. There's nothing wrong. Stop being an asshole." And the guy says, "The man in your back seat. Each time I honked, he'd pull out. He pulled out and was making, wait, he pulled out and he was making to kill you." So he must have been like motioning.
Mhm.
And he says, "I just saved your life, not once, not twice, but 3 times." The woman isn't sure what to think. She looks back to her car and the door opens. Oh my God, and that's all they printed about it.
Did she live?
Well, that was a letdown.
Kind of a good story, though.
I want to know what happens next.
There was potential.
Yeah, there was. How about Bloody Mary? Does anybody remember being told the story of Bloody Mary? Don't plug your
I
ears.
don't like
Mason.
that one.
Okay, so it starts off. She lived deep in the forest in a tiny cottage and sold herbal remedies for a living. Folks living in the town nearby called her Bloody Mary and said she was a witch. None dared to cross the old crone for fear that their cows would go dry. Their food stores would rot away before winter. Their children, don't you dare. Their children take sick of fever or any number of terrible things that an angry old witch could do to her neighbors. Then the little girls in the village began to disappear one by one. No one could find out where they had gone. Grief-stricken families searched the woods, the local buildings, and all the houses and barns, but there was no signs of the missing girls. A few brave souls even went to Bloody Mary's home in the woods to see if the witch had taken the girls, but she denied any knowledge of their disappearances. Still, it was noted that her haggard appearance had changed. She looked younger, more attractive. The neighbors were suspicious, but they could find no proof that the witch had taken their young ones. Then came the night when the daughter of the miller rose from her bed and walked outside. Following an enchanted sound no one else could hear, the miller's wife had a toothache and was sitting up in the kitchen treating the tooth with an herbal remedy when her daughter left the house. She screamed for her husband and followed the girl out the door. The miller came running in his nightshirt. Together they tried to restrain the girl, but she kept breaking away from them and heading out of town. The desperate cries of the miller and his wife woke the neighbors. They came to assist the frantic couple. Suddenly, a sharp-eyed farmer gave a shout and pointed towards the strange light at the edge of the woods. A few townsmen followed him out into the field and saw Bloody Mary standing beside a large oak tree. Holding a magic wand that was pointed towards the miller's house, she was glowing, and an unearthly light shone as she set her evil spell upon the miller's daughter. The townsmen grabbed their guns and their pitchforks and ran towards the witch. When she heard the commotion, Bloody Mary broke off her spell and fled back into the woods. The far-sighted farmer had loaded his gun with silver bullets in case the witch ever came after his daughter. Now he took aim at her and shot. The bullet hit Bloody Mary in the hip and she fell to the ground. The angry townsmen leapt upon her and carried her back into the field, where they built a huge bonfire and burned her at the stake. As she burned, Bloody Mary screamed a curse at the villagers. If anyone mentioned her name aloud before a mirror, she would send her spirit to revenge herself upon them for her terrible death. when she was dead, the villagers went to the house in the woods and found the unmarked graves of the little girls the evil witch had murdered. She had used their blood to make her young again. From that day to this, anyone foolish enough to chant Bloody Mary's name 3 times before a darkened mirror will summon the vengeful spirits of the witch. It is said that she will tear their bodies to pieces, rip their souls from their mutilated bodies. The souls of these unfortunate ones will burn in torment as Bloody Mary once was burned, and they will be trapped forever in the mirror. Now, is that the way you remember it told?
I don't really remember much of it.
That was always my favorite. I remember me and my 3 cousins would stand in the mirror with the light off at midnight, and we would try to say it. And I was always, I don't know, the mischievous one. And I would wait until they were really into it, and they were just, they had their ears plugged and their eyes were scrunched really tight, and they were standing there in the mirror and they were saying, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. And before they said it the 3rd time, I would either reach out and grab them or just, scream in their ear or something like that, just to make them freak out, and then they'd run and tell their mom. But yeah, that was all part of my childhood.
There's some good ones, some folklore about Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about it.
This one is called Siren Bridge. It says Siren Bridge is close to Siren, Wisconsin, and home to the creepy family of ghosts. As the story goes, a family was driving home one day when they crashed, went through the guardrail, and died before help could arrive. People traveling over the bridge, located on County Highway B, can still hear them scream for help. Even creepier, sometimes people hear a child's voice crying out for her mom over the radio as you cross the bridge.
That's freaking awesome. I want to go there.
Yeah, I kicked you.
One that I'm going to interrupt you for a second here. There's one that I don't know where it is, and I don't remember the entire story, but I guess if you park in this one spot on the road, and it's in park, the car will move by itself because of ghosts.
Oh yeah, I forgot where that one is.
I want to go there too.
This one, it's called the Bloody Headstone at Riverside Cemetery.
Where is this one?
In Appleton.
In Appleton?
Yep.
Okay.
It says this grave belongs to the appropriately named Kate Blood, a noted adulteress, witch, and child killer from the 19th century. She was reportedly killed by her husband, but rather than haunt him, her ghost stayed in the cemetery. Visitors to the cemetery claim the area around her grave is suspiciously warm, and they have reported seeing her dark-robed ghost flitting around.
Yep.
Perhaps most unsettling, on the night of a full moon, a reddish liquid can be seen seeping from her headstone.
Okay, you hear that, Marie? We're going to be going there too.
Then here's another one. This one's in Stevens Point, Wisconsin.
Okay.
In the 1950s, an entire troop of Boy Scouts were killed on this one trail thing. They call it Boy Scout Lane. Either the troop leader or the bus driver killed them. Yeah. And they said that if you drive on it, says here that handprints have been reported appearing on your windows as you drive by.
I want to check that out too. That's in Stevens Point?
Yep. And they said that if you look in the trees, over off in the trees, you can see phantom lanterns just floating around.
You sure it's not lightning bugs?
Who knows? I didn't write it.
Well, now we got to check that out. We want to make sure that we really clean the windows well before we leave, too, inside and out.
Stevens Point is really haunted, apparently.
Is there more?
This one's called the Bloody Bridge of Highway 66.
I heard about that one. Go ahead and tell it.
According to the legend, the image of a ghostly, bloody bride appears in the rearview mirror of cars traveling over Bloody Bridge in the town of Stevens Point. The bridge, which connects two parts of Highway 66, became the scene of a crime in the 60s when a bride was killed in a car accident en route to her wedding. Since then, she has been seen haunting the bridge. One such encounter involved a police officer who found her lying on the side of the road. He went back to his car to radio for an ambulance, only to come back to nothing. She vanished into thin air.
That's what I like. I like these stories about like phantom scenes, like they picked up a hitchhiker and took them home. And when the person came back the next day, went to the house to make sure they were okay, they said that was my daughter and she died, 40 years ago.
This stuff is.
I love that stuff. That's what my childhood was all about. What else you got?
This one's called The Phantom of Ridgeway in Dodgeville, Wisconsin.
I know where that is.
It says it's hard to describe the Phantom of Ridgeway since he is supposedly a shape-shifting ghost which appears in many different but always creepy forms. He's been seen as a pig, a dog, a man with a whip, and even a ball of fire. One thing that all encounters have in common is the fact that it took place on the same road, Ridgeway in rural Dodgeville, Wisconsin. Some people claim that local pranksters are responsible for keeping the legend alive, but others who have been party to an unexplained encounter beg to differ.
That one doesn't sound as interesting.
No, it doesn't.
Wisconsin has a lot of folklore because Wisconsin is like the serial killer capital of the world. And that's how, I guess, back in earlier times, they kept each other entertained.
This one's about a rabbit with antlers.
Is that the jackalope?
The jackalope.
Yes, that is the dumbest. The dumbest of the dumb. Jackalope.
Yeah.
I wonder what kind of moonshine they were on when they came up with that one. Mm-hmm. Or bad weed. It had to be bad Mexican weed.
This one is called the Highway 12 Hitchhiker. It's in Baraboo, Wisconsin.
I want to go.
Yeah. It says a phantom hitchhiker haunts a section of Highway 12 in the appropriately named Baraboo, Wisconsin. Don't know why it's appropriately named Baraboo. That's stupid. He looks to be from the 1960s, complete with faded jeans and a green army jacket. His hair is dark and long, and he has a beard. People have reported seeing him trying to hitch a ride, and then after they pass him by, a mile down the road, he appears again. When people actually stop to give him a ride, he vanishes into thin air before he reaches their vehicle. Little else is known about this mysterious spirit, but he appears not to be malevolent.
Oh. I was hoping there was more to it. I mean, I still want to go check it out.
Mm-hmm. And apparently there's aliens in Antigo.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm up for checking out aliens, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't discriminate.
This one says, strange lights were seen in the sky several days prior to November 17th, 1974, the day of the Antigo, Wisconsin alien encounter. A woman, Mrs. H, was working in a local bar when an unusually short man appeared. It was Dad. She described him as bouncing on his way in and mentioned his burlap jacket and creepy white teeth. She believed that he was an alien because of his odd behavior and the way he insisted the lights she and others had seen in the sky were caused by a meteor. After asserting this several times, he walked out of the bar and vanished into the night. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad drug night.
Yeah, she saw a creepy short man with really white teeth and thought he was extraterrestrial.
That sounds like paranoid girls hanging out together. Okay, so we won't go check that one out.
About a gigantic fish that swallowed a moose whole.
Okay, that one's dumb. I don't even want to hear that.
Winnebago. This one's a haunted bar.
Okay, which one?
Bodega Brew Pub
Where
in
is that?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse. That's not too far.
It's home to a 100-year-old bar called the Bodega Brew Pub.
Say that 10 times
Yeah.
fast. Anything good?
Oh, they said that the old owner who committed suicide in the bar in 1901 haunts the place.
Does he do anything cool? Like,
His body floats around. People have felt him tapping on their shoulders, heard plenty of spooky noises. One employee claimed she heard the sound of women's heels on the wood floor and multiple voices when the bar was closed and she was there by herself.
I mean, we could check it out.
Yeah.
We could call them and say that we want to do a ghost investigation.
This one's in Eau Claire.
Okay.
They call it a dead end haunting, so who knows what came of it. It's the ghost of a jogging woman on Vine Street. She appears on the road, darts out between parked cars, and then vanishes without a trace. When drivers check the rearview mirror or exit their cars to see if the woman is okay, she disappears. Her ghost haunts the road even in cold weather, and she is supposedly the spirit of a local woman hit by a drunk driver while jogging.
Not investigation worthy.
Nope. That one's in Michigan. Oh no, the Michigan-Wisconsin border.
Okay, what is it?
It's called the Will-O-the-Wisp Light in Paulding. Paulding is technically in Michigan, but its proximity to the Wisconsin border means that the light is seen in both states. The Paulding Light, also called the Will-O-the-Wisp, based on its similarity to the folklore Will-O-the-Wisp, appears to be a flickering light that moves in the darkness in unsettling ways. According to legend, the light belongs to the long deceased railroad brakeman who died in a tragic accident in the area. He was apparently trying to prevent a head-on collision between two trains when he was hit by one of them.
I mean, I'm up for a road trip.
Yeah.
I'd like to check it out. I mean, even if it is a light, you never know what kind of contact you can make with ghost hunting equipment.
Yeah, I think. Oh, what's this one? I think the Bloody Bridge on Highway 66 is one of the best ones. That one's about a bloody bride who appears in your rearview mirror.
Okay. Isn't that one you just read?
Yeah, I'm saying I think that was one of the best ones.
Oh, okay.
And then Boy Scout Lane seems kind of interesting.
I'd like to hike the area that they hiked.
Siren Bridge, really. Apparently, I don't know if you heard, you probably heard, where you can hear the kid crying.
But it's about like 5 hours away.
Yeah.
So, you spend the night in town.
Yeah.
We drove 4.5 hours to go to Prairie du Chien.
Yeah.
I drove, I didn't drive. Dad drove 11 and a half hours just to get me a dog.
But if I heard a kid coming through on the radio, just know.
That would be so sweet.
I will die on that spot right there. I'll be dead. My heart can't do that.
I think I live for that shit. Like last night.
Until it happens, and you have us all sleeping on the couch next to you.
That's the fun of it. You camp out together, and then you scare the shit out of each other. Last night, I brought out all my ghost hunting equipment, and I was trying to make contact, and they said there was more than 10 entities among us. And I asked if any of them were malevolent, anything evil. And they said, yes, several. And one of the voices said that it was a demon. They laughed during we were praying the Our Father and the Hail Mary. They laughed in a really creepy, demonic voice over the obelisk. And I don't know. That just kind of got me in the mood to go out and seek some new stuff to check out. I'd also like to, in Waukesha, Waukesha, Wisconsin, there's this particular set of railroad tracks that lately a lot of people have been purposefully walking out in front of a train and getting hit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's drug induced or if it's possession or what it is, but I'd like to go there at night and do a ghost hunt and see what we can contact.
Right next to the apartment that I was at.
Oh, your college apartment?
Yep.
Yeah.
While I was there, somebody walked in front of the train track, got hit by the train.
We could go check that one out too.
And then less than a week later, a guy, his car, he was driving over it, and his car got stuck on the railroad track somehow. And he got out, but his car ended up getting hit by the train.
Wow. That's a close call.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I were to write that into a book, the doors would lock, the automatic doors would lock, and he wouldn't be able to get out.
Yep.
But I'm all about killing people in my books.
You are.
Yeah, I love killing people. I take out my earthly aggressions and my real life aggressions on some of the characters in my books. And everybody that I meet, whether it's the cashier at Walmart or the attendant at the gas station, I picture them as a character in my book, and I save their memory in my head, and I take them home with me and I put them into a book.
Yeah.
Or a possible book. I save their character,
You found that real.
Oh, it's Missy. One of you text her and tell her that I'm live.
Can tell she's not listening.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd like to go check that out, and maybe we could do a Facebook Live or just record it somehow and then put it on YouTube after we look at it.
Yep.
Make sure it's worthy of watching. I don't know. Maybe some of our listeners would like to have us do something like that.
And just like when we take road trips this summer, say we go look at these random folklore things.
Yeah.
We can do.
I'm already booking.
Yeah.
I'm going.
You're booking.
I'm booking.
Hear that? Desi's paying.
Yeah. We can either do lives there or we can pre-record them.
Yeah.
And then upload them.
Nothing wrong with that. I'd like to do a Ouija board session on a live and see what we can contact.
Yeah.
And, have that played for the audience as well.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people don't believe in a Ouija board. I'm not saying I do, and I'm not saying I don't. I mean, it says right on the box, ages 8 and up. So how serious can it be?
Yeah.
And my faith in God is strong enough that I know that I'm always protected. I've been through enough shit, and I'm sure that William Crooks can attest. He's read my book. I've been through some shit, and I come out swinging. So I'm not really afraid. I have my 15 minutes of, oh my God, what the fuck was that? But, we just keep going.
Yep.
So where do we want to go next weekend? Wait, what is next weekend is Father's Day. We can't. How about the weekend after? Which one of those places do you think is the closest?
Say for a weekend trip then, or what?
Just to drive out there for the night and,
Haley's watching. Haley's listening.
Because
Hi, Haley.
hotels are going to be, because it's 4th of July is right around the corner, so people are going to be,
You guys think
hotels
that.
are going to be back up.
It doesn't have to, it could be a day trip where we drive all day to get to the place, we hang out there, and then we drive back. We've gone 48 hours with no sleep easy. And I'd like to do stuff like that because, granted, I don't have, a great podcast where I've got hundreds or thousands of people that are viewing it, but the ones that are watching, I want to make it worth their while. I want them to actually see something. I don't go on camera because I am not secure in how I look. I know I'm 59 years old and I look like I have been hit by a dump truck. So, and I'm not comfortable with how I look. And that's why you see what you see on the screen right now. I'm not conceited. I'm not here to blow up my ego and be like, oh, I'm the best and all this other shit. I'm not. I'm me. I'm simple. I'm down to earth. I cuss a lot. I'm not beautiful. I am what I am, and you can take me or leave me, love it or shove it, as they used to say.
Siren, Wisconsin's 5 hours away.
That's exactly what I just said.
Okay.
I thought you were looking up the Baraboo one.
No, that's the Siren.
Oh,
Siren is what one now?
the one where the
Bridge.
family went off the bridge and you can hear the family screaming as you're driving by, or the kid comes through on the radio and is saying "mommy."
Okay, that's the one we have to go to. Not this next weekend, but the following weekend, the weekend after Father's Day.
And the Kate Blood one seems interesting.
Mhm.
Seems a little too like,
I'm kind of interested in The Bride.
yeah,
Where's that one and how far is that?
that one. Stevens Point. That's only like 3 hours away, I think. I almost went to
Okay.
UW Stevens
We
Point.
might go to that one first. Give Dad the chance to get the money together for me to do my little travels.
Stevens Point is 2.5 hours away.
Okay, we could do that
Where's the-
easy.
Where's the bridge?
Marie, if you're listening,
On Highway 66.
let me know if you're available the weekend after Father's Day. And anybody who's listening to this podcast, leave me a comment. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that kind of a live video where we go there. We have our ghost hunting equipment. And we're not dead serious like these ghost hunters on TV and they're like, oh my God, that was definitely a ghost. I like to debunk shit and I like to screw around and scare people that I'm with. And, I have fun with it.
He said she can't comment on there, so she's messaging us.
Oh, okay.
She said the family one seems so sad.
Girl, get out of your emotions.
It is.
It's
but
sad, but it's done.
Yeah,
what are you going to do
they're
about it?
dead.
If I was there, I would have tried to help, but now we're going to get views.
Highway 66 is right alongside the Wisconsin River.
Oh, well.
Oh, frick, here we go again. That's my Achilles heel. I hate
I
going
guess not
next
right
to.
next to, but there's certain
You almost
spots
dip in
where
there.
It's close enough.
you dip.
One sneeze and the driver takes us into the Wisconsin River.
Hey,
What?
there's a little island on Wisconsin River called Pleasure Island.
Oh, Lord. To be 23 and have that kind of mind again. There's no pleasure driving alongside of the Wisconsin River. It is horrible. It's two real narrow lanes going almost head on with each other, and they want you to do 70 or they're blaring on their horn. That freaks me out. I mean, I may come across as trying to be a badass or whatever, but let me tell you, when I'm driving up a mountain, down a mountain, or near water, I am saying my rosary, I am praying out loud, and I'm making the driver very nervous. I don't like it.
You and Marie was horrible.
We both, even for being, I don't know how far apart we are in age, 20 some years apart, we have all the same fears, a lot of the same OCD situations, and a lot of the same morals, I can't believe we're more like twins than, well, almost as much as you and Desi are.
Mm.
Mason and Destiny are never away from each other. When Mason goes to school, Destiny is a basket case. She's running around the house. She's vacuuming. She's doing everything she can to busy herself because her other half is gone. But Jimmy and Vinny used to be the same way too when they were growing up,
We're better. Even Marquette University, I guess, is super haunted.
Where is Marquette?
Milwaukee.
Downtown? Milwaukee?
Yeah.
What does that have? I want something good.
I guess they've had quite a few kids who mysteriously died in the halls. Not like that hallway, but like the dorms.
Uh-huh.
Don't know. Professors and students.
Now, is that something that we can tour?
Probably not.
That sucks.
I can become a student there.
No. I like haunted grounds, like where a house used to be. Like Ed Gein's house, the neighbors burnt it down, they suspect, because there were so many people coming there, to gawk and ogle.
This place, it's called the Bantley Graveyard in Canton, Wisconsin. They said one of the biggest things that happens is while you're driving by the graveyard, you'll see a ghost and then your brakes will go out.
Awesome. I want to do that. I like the ones where you see them like right in the street. I forgot which story that one was, but I don't know. I like the interaction. I like to see things. I like to hear things. It just kind of adds to my adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
So, which one are we going to? Stevens Point?
Yeah. Which one was that one again? Oh, that's The Bride.
Yeah, that's the one I want to see. Marie, you up for a ride? Road trip.
Missy's listening. She said road trip.
Let's do it.
Right? Everybody scrape your pennies together. We're going.
And then we'll do a live. Like I said, everybody that's listening, leave a comment if it's something that you're interested in watching us do. It's kind of probably going to look like the Blair Witch Project, but
I'll have the camera and I'll be running. Especially because we're going to have to because underneath the bridge, there's a railroad track.
Oh, wow.
So we get out of the car and you can walk under the bridge on the railroad track.
Desi's eyes are as big as a dinner plate right now. She's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the podcast, I'd like you to screenshot that and post that in the comments so that people can see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anybody in the room?
Haley and Missy.
And Missy. Haley, you got to talk Danny into taking care of the boys and coming with. It's one day.
Me, Haley, and Desi will be arm in arm running stateswide. We will be gone.
Carrying Missy.
Carrying Missy because she can't run fast. Her legs go out to the side.
Haley can't run fast either.
Haley can't either. She'll be screaming though.
No, I've seen her run in the driveway when just a bee is after her. She would be
True.
a hoot to take with. I love taking scared people with me.
But she takes me.
Well, you scream like the highest pitched scream that I've ever heard in my life.
It's a self-defense mechanism. It gets them
You
away.
sound like the chicks in the horror movies that are screaming bloody murder, and I die every time I hear you scream like that.
Like yesterday with that bee. I scared Coda too.
All right, so if it's something you're interested in, let me know. If you have any other ideas for shows that we could go live and, kind of take you on a field trip with us, let us know about that too. You guys got anything else to add tonight?
What's the squirrel?
Oh my God,
Signing off.
ADHD.
Signing off. This is ADHD signing off.
All right, I'm kind of excited about this. So 2 weeks from today, we're going live.
That car ride is going to be intense. The way there and the way back.
Well, we'll have to do a live of that, the car ride there.
I think the car is just going to be us squealing a lot.
Yeah.
And then Marie sings a bit. And then more squealing.
Yes, Marie will be playing all her 90s rap and singing along. Destiny's making a face right now. Would be on the cover of a real good horror movie. She dreads the singing in the car, but I love it. And then we'll do the live at the site, and then we can I don't know, do a live of us on our way back talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. I think
And
we
this
could,
is all weather pending too. We do live in Wisconsin where it could be snowing that day, even though it's, the end of June.
I don't know if we'll necessarily be able to do a live, just because I feel like we'll be there longer than an hour. So I don't think people would really want a 3 hour live if we're not getting stuff.
We might have to.
So we might have to pre-record it and then
record
edit out the dull parts
Yep.
a bit.
Kind of like tonight's podcast.
Hey,
That's
if people
good.
don't like it, they don't have to
That's
listen.
what I was saying. I mean, like, all the podcasts that I listen to, they're all professional and they're sitting around this table and they're all like, look at me. I've got millions of dollars to spend on podcast equipment. And, we live this life and we live that life. And this is just every day.
It's the
Down to
people who
earth.
showboat like that need reassurance in their life.
Yeah, I don't need reassurance. I'm doing me,
Mhm.
I may not be a professional. I may not be the best podcaster. I may never make a buck on this shit, but you know what? It comes from my heart, not from, something that's
wallet.
scripted in front of me. I get her done.
Mm-hmm.
But all right, well, I think we're going to end it at that and be sure to tune in. I'll keep you abreast of what's going on. I'm probably going to have to pre-record next week's podcast because Sunday is Father's Day and I'm obligated to spend time with my husband. So I'm only kidding. I love him to death. So we'll probably pre-record and play it for you that day at that time. The following weekend, weather pending, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we will take you on a field trip live. So this is Nikki Luciano saying, have a blessed night and be kind to each other.